This video is really going to consist of last week's price action, last week's moves that happened in the market. I'm going to be talking about gold and pretty much GJ, but mainly my main focus is going to be on gold. So hopefully whoever may be watching this video, you could take something positive away and implement it into your craft. But this is just going to be a simple breakdown, nothing too crazy, just a self-accountability post for myself, so I know what I'm looking at in the market, how I'm interpreting price action and these candlesticks, and what I'm looking forward to next week, and how I'm going to execute off of that to, get a payout and continue getting funded and taking these steps forward like I have been the past 3 months. So I'm blessed and grateful to be in this position, and I'm looking forward to 2025 and pretty much ending this year strong. So let's go ahead and jump into this breakdown, man. So what I'm looking for on gold, we see here on gold we've created an all-time high at about 27.90. And from this point on, once we created that all-time high, we created a higher low at about 25.35. So from this point, we see that price was bearish for the month of November. And in the month of December, we did form a top wick after forming that higher low in the month of November. So in the month of November, we formed a higher low with this bottom wick. And then in the month of December, we pretty much rallied after the first open of December, created like a lower high, and have been pushing down for the remainder of the month of December. So as we go down to our smaller time frames, one thing that has definitely kept me on my bias for buys is the fact that daily time frame, after creating that higher low at 25.35, just that bottom wick, we created a daily higher low level at around 26.20, and we have been able to maintain these lower high points that were formed on the way to that major higher low point at 25.35. So we have these lower high points on the daily that have been tested up to 3 times. Well, tested twice, and it formed over here to the left in the month of November towards the beginning. So as we go down to our 4-hour time frame, we see here that price has pretty much been able to maintain a higher low level, and buyers are holding for the most part, at least up in here, when we began to see price push bullish and attempt to get to a new higher high level. So as we see here, daily found a level of support 26.20. We've been able to maintain, and price has been able to push to attempt to get to that next higher high level right above 27.20. So this will be your main lower high, higher low. We've been able to maintain. So just using my technicals, I kind of want to get a feel for the way market may be moving. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag my random line from this median level here on these wicks to the median here of this support level, since this was the last support level created before getting this bullish push, and pretty much dragging it out into the future to see if it gets respected along the way. So once we got our second point here, this has created the trend line. We got the bullish push. Now that we tested this daily lower high level here, you guys can see daily lower high level, we've been able to test it for the second time. We see that it was respected. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, because I am still looking for buys, I want to track the next trend that is about to happen, if we respect this 27.10 level or if we get to push above it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the 1-hour time frame. Now in the 1-hour time frame here, we're going to go ahead and take out a random line. So at this point here, we formed our 1-hour higher low level. And as we got into that daily resistance, that daily lower high, we've been able to form a support as well. So market opened last week right in this area here. So when we closed out last week's candle, we already had this this bearish drop from that daily high. So let's go ahead and track price action. You have a lower high on this 1-hour time frame, followed with another lower high. So at this point here, I would have been looking for buys just because we are still bullish, and this was our last point of a higher low. So the fact that this was our last point of a higher low, I would be looking for buys if we respect this support, and sells if we continue to go bearish. And I was executing buys in this area, and unfortunately it just didn't go my way, and there was more bearish pressure and strength in the market at this point in time that I ended up experiencing a loss to end the week on this previous week. So now that we know we are kind of bearish, I could have been looking for sells just because we broke bullish structure at this point. So we can even draw like a fib for those that use these type of technicals. And we got a 38.2 retracement. Now let's say we close this off. This is Monday at this point in time. You have this lower high level here, and you have support right in here. So now what I'm looking for, as we still have that bearish strength from this daily lower high level, I'm going to be looking for a bearish transition to execute sells. Now I was hoping for buys in this area. That was my first bias, due to the fact that we had this bullish shift in the market once we got this daily higher low. But once we got below like this level here where we had that bullish shift, price didn't seem to have that bullish strength to continue pushing. So it was only right that we looked for those lower high opportunities as we were getting those bearish transitions from this 2700 level up here. So we're going to go from our 1 hour time frame to our 15-minute time frame within this range, we could call it. So price formed support down here, found resistance up here. As price did that, then you see price kind of range out in this area. Not too sure if it was going to come back up to the high or if it was going to come and break support. So this is about 8 a.m. at this point in time that we formed our first lower high point right in here. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. So 6 o'clock right in here, 1800. Okay, this is about 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So this is about the time that I would actually start looking at my charts, or the time that I should, just to avoid any mess that may happen in Asian session. And as we see here, we see price in this like little consolidation area. We get a lower high point as soon as it hits 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we got this lower high point, got that continuation down into support. Price came back up, testing this level of resistance within this little consolidation zone, giving us another engulfing. So we had two confirmations here. You had like a lower high below that level of resistance. That could have been your first entry for a confidence entry, and then like more of a conservative entry with this second one. Now if I was looking at this and I felt confident and I executed this trade with that first engulfing, I would have had my entry there with a stop loss of about 76 pips, and my TP would have been targeting that daily level of support, and this would have held, but we would have of course had to manage it throughout the day. So this would have been a Monday entry at 10 a.m. and TP would have got hit Wednesday. Now let's say we did execute this position here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a random line. So let's say I do this random line. This is our first entry right in here on Monday. This is a Monday entry. Okay. Now as price continues on into Tuesday, we see that price found a level of support right in here. Found support pre-New York, going into New York, and held all the way up to about 10 a.m. When we started getting that bullish push. Maybe even trying to show that buyers are going to continue to overall hold, but with the current bearish price action, price was able to form a level of resistance and hold below this 1 hour level of support. So you have your 15-minute level of resistance right in here. So as price found 15-minute support below our 1 hour support, we could have tracked that bullish pressure in the market. So you had your first higher low here. This is about 2 p.m. Price respects resistance. Shows that sellers can still be holding the market at this point in time. You had your second level of a higher low at around 8 o'clock. So we could have honestly been tracking bullish strength. Now you have this area here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this line in a black, make it more thin, and then you see price is still holding. We could have drew another random line right in here. So this is about 10 o'clock here. At 10 o'clock, that's when you have your bearish engulfing right in here. Could have definitely executed around 10 o'clock and had your stop loss above that previous high for about 60 pips. Price would have held, and then if you were looking at price action as it was in this area, then you could have definitely had another opportunity. We see here we have another 15-minute bearish engulfing, but it has a lot of sellers exhaustion, so that wouldn't be a typical candle to enter off of. You would have wanted to wait for a solid bearish engulfing, something like right there. So you could have definitely had your second entry there. So this could have been second entry. This would have been a Tuesday entry. Tuesday entry here. You could have even had another one of these for a scale-in opportunity right after this area in here, and you could have let that played out and price would have simply just fell right into your support level on based off the daily time frame. Boom. Okay, so now that we're tracking this still and we're going based off our hourly time frame, we could then track what price is doing down here. So price came down, exhausted, and then you found support. So this looks like a solid support level here. Okay, solid support, and then you have your resistance level up here. So just like we have our first area in here where we're able to execute off that lower high point and dictate if we're going to get a bearish transition and keep going down, you could do the same thing in this area right in here. So after we got our support, we got our resistance, price came all the way back down to that support level, now testing it. So since we weren't able to break this level, there's a possibility we could retrace. There's a possibility we could get a little counter trend push before getting a continuation to come down. You had a minor higher low, and then you had another higher low point in here. Now my bias was kind of all over the place in this area just because we were already below this daily level of support that was formed over here. We did break below and maintain it as resistance. So my bias was sells at this point in time. So the way I would have been looking for sells, they wouldn't have been a strong continuation, but that would have been the correct bias to go for. Is only if we seen price get respected on a level of resistance or like a bearish transition area. So at first we have our support level right in here. So let me go ahead and do this instead. Right in here. So anytime price comes up into this box, we could be looking for sell opportunities down for that bearish transition to continue. So you had your first level of a higher low. This would be that first indication for sales. Now this would have been a 6 o'clock entry, not my ideal time that I should be trading. And now if I would have took this entry here, I would have sat in a consolidation all the way up until 10 o'clock, and then price still continued to just kind of stall out before giving us that bullish push, which would have been a counter trend based off your current hourly trend, but it would have been a bullish continuation based off your daily time frame. So now based off our hourly, you see here price has been forming higher lows. So there wasn't really like a point in time that would have been good to sell other than this 6 p.m. candle. But then again, if you would have entered here, price would have sat in consolidation and you would have seen drawdown, and it would have just been it would have been no good at that point in time. So the fact that we began to get these higher lows and we began to see like a bullish shift in here is the reason I wouldn't be looking for those sells. One thing I was looking for was buys as long as we maintained above this current um, random line here at like 26.01. Price did hold this level as resistance, tested here, tested in here, tested here, broke above, came back down, and now initially tested it as support with like a double bottom, and we continue to fly. Now another reason I was looking for buys was because not only did we have this little consolidation zone here for a bullish move, you also had it on this end, and it was kind of the same move. Price took off around 10:15 here, price took off around 5:30 here. So this would have just been kind of hard to analyze, but for the most part, I was bearish up until this point. It just wasn't my move, just because it happened during New York, and my bias was kind of all over the place, so I wasn't able to execute off of that. But now going into the new week, what I will be looking for, let me go ahead and delete these technicals real quick. So let's see, based off our daily time frame, we did break below this daily higher low level on Wednesday. Thursday candle came up to exhaust off that level, forming like a lower high based off your 1 hour time frame, came down to test that support, and then Friday's candle came right back up to close right into this area. So there's a possibility that we can still overall respect this level as a resistance and push bearish to come back down. So this will just be a daily lower high point, or we can hold this area as support, forming higher low points on like your 1 hour time frame and holding support to then get a bullish push back up. Excuse me. So based off our hourly time frame, I'm still looking for sells, so that's my main bias. We have one, so this is even a better confirmation for me for sells, because this will be your third touch. So this is kind of, not even kind of, but this is confirming our bearish, what could be a bearish trend happening in the market. So this is your point 1, point 2, which is while creating it here, and then point 3. So it takes 2 touches on the trend line to create it and 3 touches to confirm it, and we're getting that third confirmation now. So what I'll be looking for going into the new week is a bearish continuation below this 1 hour level of resistance that we're getting here. And I mean, based off of your 4 hour time frame, we're still in this level of resistance, and this is still a lot of buyers exhaustion right up in here. So as long as price continues to respect this level, then we could definitely see something good for the sellers. Now the only way I'll be looking for buys is if we continue to like hold a level of support here and we break above like 26.32. We break above 26.32, then there's a strong possibility that this trade goes to the upside. So let's see, we go down to our 15 minute. Yeah, we don't have nothing good yet. We would have to wait for Sunday and potentially Monday morning to see if we're going to get a bearish push. But at this point, buyers are strong. So let's see if price continues to stall, then we consolidate and we could get a bearish look to the downside. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best bet for next week. So yeah, for next week, I am bearish on gold. We'll see how technicals play out. But if we get above 26.32, then we are on the buy side, and we will be on the buy side of this trendline opportunity. So at that point, I will be looking for a higher low point to then execute. So my bias, or what I'm looking for buys, is technically something like this. We either get something like this to go back up, or we see price consolidate a little bit. And then we maybe make our way back down. So one of the two. And I think that will be a good projection for next week, just based off of the hourly price action that we are getting. So let's see how that plays out. But one of the two is what I am expecting for gold. So I just have to be patient and see how price plays. before making a anticipation for this next move, just because I don't want to be on the wrong side of the market, and it is December, so there's a possibility that price can consolidate a little more than usual, and I'll have to sit on my hands more. So that'll be my gold projection. Let's go ahead and see GJ. So let's see. So on GBP JPY, you have your monthly high here, you have your monthly low here. Let's go down to our daily time frame. Daily time frame, you got that bullish transition in the market once we started trading above like 192 to 193. At that point, we are bullish. We did form a higher low before actually making a run to a new higher high level. So that will be your higher low, and this will be your higher high level right in here. So for this past week that actually happened, we would have been looking for buy opportunities as long as we maintained our daily level of support that was created here in the month of September, came back to this level in the month of December, held, forming a daily bullish engulfing, which took 3 days. Once you got that, you got a higher high, a higher low, and you were able to execute on the way up. So let's drop down to our 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. You got your first bullish transition that would have occurred right in here. Could have executed on. You got this area right in here. Now it would have been a lot better and a better risk play for this bullish move if we would have came down to our second random line here, just because this is where the actual resistance was for this current price action structure, and not all the way to the left over here. But just marking these levels off, you can see how price is simply respecting levels of resistance as support and giving you good buy opportunities as long as you analyze efficiently and are able to adapt and execute accordingly. So last week, to end the week, I was looking for buy opportunities in this area, but we sat in consolidation a little too long, and I was just a little uncomfortable holding in this area here. But this is pretty much showing that buyer structure is holding along these levels, and I mean, history repeats itself in the market, and we could see here that every time we broke above resistance, we always came back and touched that support, broke above, support, wicked off, resistance, resistance, support, support, and we're now testing this level as support. So what I am looking for going into the new week, I will be looking for buy opportunities on GJ based off our 4 hour and 1 hour time frame to potentially come back and target 199, which would be ideal for this bullish move that we are getting. And we could use our fibs too, just to see what kind of retracement, which is a 61.8. So this could be a nice continuation. Won't be as aggressive as a 38.2, but we'll still get that same perfect. We're back. I don't know what happened with my other video, but it was lagging a little bit, and I just wasn't able to finish as the application closed down. So what I was saying though was my breakdown for GJ and what I'm looking for. So we see here that price is pushing bullish, forming higher highs, higher lows. So I will be looking for buy opportunities along this 196 level area as long as we get a bullish transition. So based off our, let's see what our 4 hour time frame is doing. We got a bullish engulfing here based off our 4 hour, 4, 8, 12, which took 12 hours. Based off our hourly time frame, we're already getting this bullish transition right in here. So I will be looking for a higher low opportunity, waiting for price to potentially pull back into this area to give me some indication that we are going to continue to go up, and then I will be looking for my buy opportunities, then back up to the upside to like 199 area. So just depending how price forms here based off our hourly time frame, I will be looking for buys. But I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up, man. That's gonna be our breakdown for today and what I'm looking for next week. Hopefully you guys gained something valuable. If you watched it all the way to the end, man, I appreciate you. And let's continue making an effort to press forward every day and become the best version of ourselves on the charts, and to do what we came here for, man, to make money, to gain freedom in our life, and to just be the best version of ourselves. So with that, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.